Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Filecoin and IPFS monthly ecosystem roundup. Thank you for taking the time to join us today as we take a look at the latest and greatest developments from across the Filecoin and IPFS ecosystem. We're excited to have you all here and look forward to a productive and engaging session. My name is Angie McGuire, and I'll be your host for today's roundup. We've had another rip-roaring month full of new releases, events, updates, and more. Zooming in on events, the Filecoin Green Team, Celo Foundation, Hyphen, Gitcoin, and Symbiotica got together online to talk about sustainability on Twitter Spaces. The Bacalao team hosted the Compute Over Data Summit in Boston. Folks got together for ETH Portland and ETH Lisbon, and Filecoin storage leaders connected with researchers and data stewards at SynBioBeta 2023. A quick reminder that Filecoin's mission is to create a decentralized, efficient, and robust foundation for humanity's information. Launched in March, the Filecoin virtual machine now enables you to build your own smart contracts on the Filecoin blockchain. FVM brings user programmability to Filecoin, unleashing the enormous potential of an open data economy. IPFS is a peer-to-peer hypermedia protocol designed to preserve and grow humanity's knowledge by making the web upgradable, resilient, and more open. Together, they are the foundation of Web3 and the building blocks for many of your favorite projects and protocols. Before we dive into our discussions, let's quickly go over the agenda for today's call. We'll kick things off with an ecosystem update from the brilliant Jonathan Victor. Then, members of the Filecoin community will give us a quick-fire overview of the amazing projects and tools they've been working on. Next up, it's time for a demo from our App of the Month, Mona, followed by a quick Q&A with Justin Malilo, hosted by the awesome Lucas Bresser. Then it's time to spread the love by giving shout-outs to your Phil MVPs. To close us out, we'll take a look at what's coming up for the rest of June. Don't be shy. You can participate in today's roundup by leaving comments and questions in the chat for our presenters, tweeting with the hashtag FilecoinRoundup, or if you'd like to present a future roundup, then we'll share details at the end. Let's get this party started. I'm excited to introduce you to Jonathan Victor to give us an update on what's been happening across IPFS, Filecoin, and Web3. Over to you, JB.
Thanks, Angie. So on to the state of IPFS, Filecoin, and Web3. So just as a recap, what are we building with Filecoin? Filecoin is aiming to build a decentralized, efficient, and robust foundation for humanity's most important information. Filecoin itself is a cryptid-powered storage network, and the Filecoin economy is really aiming to power all of Web3. Filecoin is the L1 blockchain and storage network, uniquely poised to power the open data economy. And our strategy for getting there is through Filecoin's master plan, which we've broken up into 3 phases. The first phase is through scalable data storage, attracting exabytes of storage capacity and building out a network that can actually store the internet's data. The second is through massive data onboarding, using that cheap storage to attract more and more useful data into the Filecoin economy, and continually shaving down the friction points to allow more users to adopt the Filecoin ecosystem. And third is by making that data useful, unlocking more services like compute and retrieval, and bringing in new functionality like programmability through the SDM and interplanetary consensus to make that data more powerful through the Filecoin-enabled services. On the scalable data storage side, we can see how that's progressed over the last month. To date, we have about 3.56 storage providers operating on the network across 40 countries, and 34% of them are making storage deals, an increase from the month before. There's about 150 million Filecoin that's currently pledged to safeguard the network and the data of the clients, and about 13.8 million terabytes of raw byte capacity has been dropped from the network. Now, while we've seen a shift down in terms of empty capacity on the network, we're seeing a massive growth in the amount of data that continually is onboarded into the network. In total, we've seen about 1.1 million terabytes of data come onto the network. In April alone, that number growing at about 5,500 terabytes per day. And that sort of takes us through the storage side. On making data useful, it can be first useful to talk about the FVM, which launched in the middle of March, and the progress we've seen to date. FVM-powered DeFi and the use cases inside of there are quickly finding traction. Since inception, we've seen about 80,000 wallets be active on the FVM, and to date, we've seen about 1.7 million Filecoin being held in FVM-powered smart contracts, not including the fill that's already been lent out through leasing solutions to storage providers. Across the different protocols in the network, we see about over $10 million worth of TVL per DeFi llama. And since launch, we've seen about 1,000 smart contracts come online, deployed by hundreds of teams, all building different dApps and applications in the Filecoin economy. We've also seen a number of partners step up to bring their services into the Filecoin economy, folks like Axelar, Teller, Stellar, and more. Of course, as we think about making the data useful, simply adding programmability is not the only piece. Retrieval markets, compute over data, IPC, all have had fantastic progress. The Compute Over Data Working Group continually has their monthly meetings. Saturn, you can see the number continually tick up in terms of the number of points of presence that they have in their alpha. As folks may have seen, at the end of April, the IPC team launched their alpha. So we quickly are seeing more and more progress, and hopefully we'll have more updates for you on the mainnets for each of the individual efforts. So with all of that progress, that gives a quick recap of where we are on the Filecoin side of the house. Now we'll do a quick switch over to catch up on where things are in IPFS land. As a recap, IPFS is the underpinning technology for the Filecoin economy. IPFS is what makes the web peer-to-peer. IPFS uses a unique form of referencing of data called content hashes, we call them CIDs, as the mechanism that we can both store and distribute content. This is what makes IPFS the data and content platform for Web3, serving not only the Filecoin economy, but other protocols as well, folks like Celestia, Gala Games, and more. IPFS itself has seen massive growth over the last year, but even specifically inside of the last few months. Content routing performance continues to improve, now at under 0.5 seconds, with 0.303 seconds month over month as an improvement. We see an ever-growing user base, with the gateways themselves moving up in terms of their total number of requests to over 1.2 billion weekly requests. We see IPFS now being available in many more environments: iOS, Android, Unreal, Unity. The list continues to grow. We see a growth in developer interest as we see that growth in IPFS availability. More than 70 or 60 devs contributing to core implementations across 7 major IPFS implementations. And of course, we now have 2 major browsers supporting IPFS CIDs natively, really pushing forward the boundaries of where the distributed web is touching. And lastly, to do a quick recap, we've seen a little bit of IPFS and Filecoin in the news. Folks may have seen CoinGecko did a report highlighting how across the decentralized infrastructure space, Filecoin uniquely is bringing in the most affordable and competitive offering due to its unique crypto-economic structure. And thanks. And with that, I'll hand it back to you, Angie.
Awesome. Thanks so much, JB. It looks like May has been a really fantastic month for both Filecoin and IPFS. In our next segment, we're going to dive right in and hear from some of the people, projects, and organizations who are driving this momentum. It's time for Wins of the Month.
Hi, this is Kate from Astifill. Astifill is the first liquid staking launched on FVM, with live launched since 12th of April. After launching for 6 weeks, we have 2 main achievements. First, we secured more than 200,000 Filecoin in our protocol. And second, we've joined the Allied Ventures IPFS Metaverse Basecamp, which is a great opportunity. So what Astifill is doing is the connecting token holder and storage provider by offering a decentralized staking experience. If you're a storage provider, you can join our leverage farming and having high profitability to help storage provider to continue to grow and expand their network. And if you're a token holder, please come join us too. You can enjoy no lockup period and also interest is compound in second and decentralized staking. The APY now is ranging from 10 to 50%, which is a market-driven interest rate. So please come join us, and you can check our website at astifill.io. And thank you for having me here.
Hey there, I'm Jennifer Bell, and I'm with the network growth team at Protocol Labs. And I was just going to touch base about a really exciting page we launched about a month ago. It's called the Filecoin Client Explorer. And I was recently actually at a conference for synthetic biology in Oakland, California. And I have to say, this was the best tool I've ever had. We had it up on screen the whole time. And anytime someone who came by that wanted to understand what was Filecoin, what was decentralized storage, is it legitimate, I could just point to the screen, scroll down to use cases and case studies, and actually click into some of the logos. So it's a really great page for that purpose, but also for our storage providers that are out talking to prospective clients, and even better for the storage providers to provide us with logos and use cases of their clients. So I invite you to check out the page, and please let us know if you have any clients you'd like to onboard.
Hi everyone, I'm Joey, the Chief Marketing Officer of SFT Portico, and I'm here to update you on our progress. SFT Portico connects Filecoin token holders and storage providers using a unique solution powered by the Filecoin virtual machine. Over 500 token holders contributed 300,000 file tokens to help SPs grow and secure the network. We're one of the top liquid staking protocols on FVM. To participate, deposit your file at sftport.io. Your file will be loaned to a storage provider that needs to increase its capacity or onboard more data. In return, you'll receive an SFT voucher token. Our partnerships with Token Pockets and Newhall Tech enhance platform security for users. Token Pocket simplifies access to FVM, dApps, and SFT Portico features, while Newhall Tech enhances asset security and privacy through its MPC wallet. We have set up a way for token holders to deposit file via BSC using our BSC FVM bridge to further strengthen the Filecoin ecosystem. SFT Portico is driving innovation in Filecoin with our achievements, partnerships, and cross-chain bridges that lead towards a more secure, efficient, and user-friendly Filecoin network. Follow us on Twitter at SFT Portico and try our dApp at sftport.io. Thank you very much.
Hey, my name's Claudia. I'm the founder at Banyan. So last month, we finished and ran a demo on our MVP V0, which is basically a Filecoin CLI edge uploader similar to Singularity, but it's based on WinFS. So it's got like all the end-to-end encryption and versioning forward, or eventually permissioning that comes with their really like all efficient stack. So we got that finished. We built a web like front end kind of thing for it with like mobile views so that you can manage your backups that are generated by this CLI script. And we practiced onboarding it with Descent. So that was our V0. It was kind of just a backup product. Before we launch, we're going to be adding hot storage capabilities. So similar to S3, we're actually going to launch an S3 capable API. And a couple more features in the front end to make it more on feature parity with like a Dropbox or a Google Cloud kind of thing. We still are able to support that NAS backup use case and probably sneaker netting as well. We had some productive conversations with Seagate about that. So yeah, big data upload, one file data upload. We're going to support all of it and subscribe to our email list, which is, I guess, the action item on the slide. If you want to hear updates about that as we plan to come out of stealth and launch our first product to real customers. So yeah, also if you're an SP, we're definitely looking to partner with you to store user data. Reach out to me in the Slack. I'm Laudia K, and I'll put you in touch with the right people from my team, and we can work together. So yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Simon Kim, and I'm on the data programs team focusing on Filecoin Plus or Phil Plus. As the Phil Plus governance team is focusing on the quality phase initiative for the wins of the month, the Trust and Transparency Working Group has launched the TNT Tracker, which will help handle disputes regarding Phil Plus. With the intention of reducing abuse and pushing towards trust and transparency, a third-party Know Your Customer KYC tool called Toggle will be on the new philplus.storage homepage. Finally, the Phil Plus program has achieved a significant milestone of crossing 1 exabyte of published verified deals. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me or the Phil Plus governance team. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Renee, one of the co-founders of the Artisan Fund for Human Creativity. I'm thrilled to publicly announce Artisan has raised $2.2 million, and I also want to share some exciting results from Season 2 of the Artisan Fund. At Artisan, we partner with top organizations like Microsoft and Protocol Labs to award match funding for new projects at the frontier of art, science, technology, and design. We just wrapped Season 2, and it was a big success. We received 195 project submissions, we sold 110 cultural artifacts, and we helped creators raise over $70,000. This represents a 132% increase from Season 1. We are just about to launch Season 3 and looking for new partners. So if you would like to work with Artisan to support the creators in your community, please drop me a line. All right, cheers.
Amazing. Thank you so much to all of the teams for sharing their wins. If you'd like to learn more about these projects, or if you'd like to be featured next month, then check out the links below. All right, now it's time for App of the Month, brought to you by Lucas Bresser. Over to you, Lucas.
Hey everyone, Justin Melillo here, co-founder, CEO of Mona. I'm so excited here to dive in and give you this quick demo of Mona. So first things first, we're going to navigate to our website, monaverse.com. From here, you can explore spaces or avatars, learn more about Mona, or check out the marketplace, which is what we're going to do first. The process of creating a Mona is really simple. All you have to do is start building in your 3D tool of choice, and then you can sign in to your wallet here. Bring me to MetaMask. It'll ask me to sign in here. And this is going to take me to my Drafts wallet page. And from here, immediately, you can click Create, where you can click to create a space, or you can create a 3D avatar in the VRM format. So you'll fill in some information here. Say you want to create a new avatar with your artist name, avatar name, and a description. You can then select a few properties here. Click Continue. And then here, you're going to start to upload some other assets that will be minted with the avatar, including your mintable file, which is the .vrm. This is an interoperable avatar format, and a preview image. Once you upload these assets, it will go through our minting approval process, where our team just does a quick QA check to make sure that all of the assets are optimized and formatted properly, and then it will go live on the Mona Marketplace. So it is that easy to start building for the Open Metaverse using Mona. What's exciting is when you upload these assets here and mint them as an NFT, the 3D assets are actually getting uploaded to IPFS. So Mona is so thrilled to partner with Protocol Labs and Filecoin for all of the storage for all the assets. So going back to the marketplace, all the assets uploaded on Mona, all the assets here on the marketplace actually live on decentralized file storage via IPFS. So these are now over 15,000 3D assets that are hosted on IPFS. And we're so thrilled about that. And that number is growing each day. So coming back to our marketplace, you can see we allow creators to mint right now on either Ethereum or Polygon. You can sort by avatars or spaces here, and then you can go sort through different properties, and then you can sort through different artists as well. So say you're at the marketplace and you want to start jumping in and exploring a world. I like this one right here. You can just click on one of these assets. It'll give you some more info about it, and you can even click to enter the space. So now we're diving directly into the metaverse through Mona, and we're going to start exploring this immersive space that's been uploaded. And there you have it. Now we're inside the metaverse, all through the web browser. Now, Mona is the highest quality immersive experience you can get in a web browser without having to download an app. And you can see the level of detail and quality in this particular space is just astounding. You can see we have a little lens flare action going on. This fire looks super realistic. You can switch between third person and first person mode here. So you can check out my cool Rave Pepe avatar by Geberg Shang. And Mona also enables people through our Creator SDK to build completely custom immersive interactive experiences. So with Mona, you can build a static environment, or you can build one that is entirely dynamic, or you can build your own standalone game if you wanted to. A couple other things I'd like to point out. With the avatar functionality we have here, we also have an emote wheel. So you can start waving or fully expressing yourself through dance, which is really cool. We also have an emoji menu. So you can start emoting by clicking on these different emojis, which is always a lot of fun. With Mona, we make it easy to host a hangout as well. So say you wanted to invite your friends here and have a full multiplayer experience. All you have to do is click this Host a Hangout button. It will reload the space and give you a little Hangout link here. So now you can copy this link and drop it to any of your friends. And then you see I even have my I even have my name that shows up above my profile now because I'm logged in with my wallet. So say you want to actually change your avatar. You can do that as well by just clicking the 4 key or clicking down here to click avatar. We have an integration with Ready Player Me and their fantastic avatar system. You can import a custom .vrm avatar. Once again, VRM is that interoperable cross-platform avatar format. Or if you own a Mona avatar, you can search your wallet and you can select from any of the avatars that you own in your wallet. So I'm going to click to load in as this amazing Metadromoy avatar from Augie World. And just like that, you can swap through your digital identity super, super easily with Mona. We have full text chat and spatialized voice chat as well. So if you click the speak key, you'll actually be able to start talking. And when you speak, because we have spatialized voice chat, there is an actual natural fall off for a certain radius around the avatar, so that as you run further away from someone, you actually sound quieter to them than as though they were right in front of you, which you'll sound louder. And you can even see there's a little voice indicator to show that I'm talking. If I go to settings, I can change a number of different things about the visual experience, like increasing the bloom intensity, motion blur, chromatic aberration. We have some basic controls, and we can even adjust the volume here. So now we're going to jump back to the marketplace, and we're going to explore another space. So I'm going to click Enter Space here, and this one is called Bonkers Garden. This one is entirely different from the space that I just showed you in that this one is very, very highly stylized, as it was composed of these really interesting illustrations. So I'm going to fall down this little rabbit hole here. And I encourage you, as you go to explore Mona from your own computer, definitely wear headphones and turn your volume up, because spaces like this one really serve to immerse you in a way that, that uses audio and incorporates audio into the experience. And it makes it feel so much more immersive and so much more exciting as you walk through a space like this, because you can get to really hear the different sound effects and all the love that went into crafting the full experience, not just the visuals, but also how it sounds. So I definitely encourage you to check this space out and make sure you have your headphones on. All right, and back to the marketplace we go. I'm just going to show you, as we search through the different avatars on the marketplace, we also make it really easy to view these assets in 3D as well. You can see I can start to really interact with these assets in 3D, kind of get a feel for them. I can even click this button here and view them in AR. So if I click View in AR, it will bring me to a QR code that I can actually scan with my phone. And then you can view any of these Mona avatars in AR as well through your mobile device. So you can start to interact with 3D assets, decentralized 3D assets, in AR as well, which we're really excited about. So that is about it. That's just a quick overview and demo of Mona. So thank you so much for spending some time with me here today. I definitely encourage you to visit monaverse.com to explore any of these wonderful assets yourself and start diving into the open metaverse. And then follow us on Twitter @Monaverse, and then please feel free to tweet your journey through the metaverse as you explore any of these spaces and avatars, and let me know which one is your favorite. Thanks so much.
Wow, thanks so much, Justin. It's amazing to see how far you've come. I think the last time I saw you in person was at the event in New York, and I've been checking in with the progress, and it's phenomenal. It's so cool. I loved how you said that's about it, and I was like, that's a lot. And so kudos to you. That's really cool. I'd love to dive right into and kind of just discuss some questions with you. The first one is kind of like on this concept of the metaverse. I've seen kind of different versions of it. People describe it as the internet basically of today, just with this sense of presence, of interactions. And I'm super excited. I think just 3 hours ago, Meta announced their new virtual reality goggles, and I think Apple is about to announce something on Monday. So we're really like at this inflection point where some of these immersive experiences will feel even more immersive, like beyond the browser, but it's cool to see what you've done. I'm kind of curious, like, what is your vision for the metaverse? How will people interact with this, 5 years from now? And how does that manifest in your product today and maybe your roadmap?
Yeah, well, thank you so much again for having me here, Lucas. Really excited to be here with everyone. It's a really great question, and I think the simplest way to think about it and the way we think about it is that the future of the internet is immersive. And, we view the metaverse as this immersive future of the internet. It's happening today. It's been around for a while, and it's going to continue to grow in popularity. And for us, that's why we're really invested in building those tools, protocols, infrastructure to help any creator design any type of 3D asset and help any developer build any type of interactive, immersive experience leveraging 3D assets, and be able to access all of these experiences in a really easy, simple way through the web browser. That's really the most important thing for us. The metaverse doesn't work without decentralization, and I think a lot of previous companies are taking a very opinionated approach toward ownership, distribution, creating these walled gardens. But really where we exist is that, abstraction, the visual abstraction for the ownership of these decentralized 3D assets that are going to underpin this new internet. Very excited for the future of headsets and goggles. And basically what we see as our vision for this is that over the next 5, 10, 20 years, humanity is going to start to transition from consuming data, consuming information, content, in this 2D medium and via 2D interfaces to a more three-dimensional way. And that's going to be where headsets come into play. It's going to be through these really incredible immersive spaces that we're seeing creators on our platform build and mint through Mona. This is just a very small glimpse into the future that we're really thrilled for.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. Thanks so much. Do expand a little bit on this idea of why the metaverse has to be decentralized, and maybe discuss in that context a little bit, what elements of the IPFS and Filecoin ecosystem are really helping you bring this important part of your vision to life. So why does it matter, and how does Filecoin and IPFS, how do these technologies help you get there?
It all comes down to the user. It all comes down to the user, that, it should be user-centric, and it comes down to ownership. And the pure reality is that in current or Web 2 models, if you purchase a digital asset, a digital collectible, a game skin, you can't take that collectible outside of the context of that game. That's where we have that so-called walled garden. And, if that game were to ever go away, or, simply like investing in an asset that you can't take elsewhere. Whereas if you, without having that game in place, the whole value is just evaporated, right? And so I think at a very core level, it's about user ownership and having true ownership over information and over these digital collectibles and assets that really are going to underpin this new immersive internet. How can a user truly own something if they can't take it out of the context of an app or a platform? And so that's where a decentralization comes into play in a really big part. And why we're so thrilled to be working with Protocol Labs, Filecoin, using IPFS for all of our decentralized storage of these 3D assets. We are also running the highest quality immersive web experience, which I was demoing there, where you get to connect all of these thousands of assets together, experience and explore together. But if you wanted to, the real beauty of this is that you could take these assets anywhere. A very clear demonstration of this is we actually took a minted Mona World recently. And we took that environment outside of the context of Mona, and we imported it into Fortnite, Unreal Engine, and we started running around playing Fortnite inside of a Mona space. This is the beauty of decentralization, and really being able to have this open public ledger, see who created what, be able to have true one-of-one digital assets, and being able to track ownership. All of these concepts are really, really key to making this vision and future vision of the open metaverse work.
Yeah, awesome. I'm really excited by this idea of an open metaverse, as opposed to kind of some of the visions that we've seen some of the larger corporations kind of pitch. I'm curious, I'll maybe close with that question. Metaverses were all the rage last year, right? And now there's a new kid on the block, AI, and it feels like there's a bit of a hype cycle that we're going through. I'm kind of curious, how has the Mona team experienced, riding this wave, and then also maybe this sobering around the debate? How does that affect you as a builder in this space, being very much part of that?
You know, you have to really have a true conviction over what you're building. And it's just a reality that marketing is just driven by these different hype cycles. You know, and, you know, DeFi summer, NFT summer for us, you know, NFTs, DeFi, blockchain, it's here to stay. The metaverse is here to stay. You know, these aren't new concepts. And really what we're excited about and what our team is excited about is just being heads down and building all of the really exciting features that our community is loving. And I think that's really key to it. You know, we're so thrilled, and I'm so thrilled and constantly inspired by the team we're building that just has true conviction that the future of the internet is immersive and decentralized. And so, you know, these hype cycles will happen. They'll come back around again next week. Everyone will be tweeting about how XR is the future once Apple announces their headset. It's just sort of the nature of it. But that said, you know, we are also really excited about these new emerging technologies, or emerging use cases, I should say, around AI. We actually, just like a small point on AI, we actually built an AI material generator back in October of last year. And so it's something that we're really, really keen to continue investing more resources in. And we really see AI as an exciting way to help creators, give creators a new technology to leverage to enhance and speed up the creative process. So we're really excited about that. But yeah, you know, marketing, it's all driven by hype cycles. We're in this for the long run. We see this as the future, and we're so excited to be building it today with everyone.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks so much, Justin. We're excited you're part of this ecosystem. I love the vision and I love to see the progress. It's super impressive. And thanks so much. We look forward to welcome you again. And yeah, once again, to everyone, check out Mona and check out these spaces and build on top of Mona. That's the beauty of, decentralization. Yes. Everyone can shape it. Thanks so much, Justin. Awesome. Cheers.
Thank you, Lucas. Thank you, everyone.
Back to Angie.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lucas and Justin. If you'd like to learn more about Mona, head over to monaverse.com. Who knows, maybe we'll host a roundup there sometime. All right. The Filecoin community is made up of an incredibly diverse group of builders, storage providers, data stewards, and entrepreneurs from around the world. Phil MVP is a part of the roundup when we get to show some appreciation for one another. First up, IPFS Australia recognises RMM Global for their incredible work on Filecoin Plus and consistent participation in the community. Next, we have Mary Claire nominating Dolphin IPFS for always giving information and educating. And finally, Frontier DAO wants to recognise Carl Turboni for his work on HyperCerts. To nominate for next month's roundup, all you have to do is tweet the name of the project or person and the reason you're nominating them with the hashtag PhilMVP, and we'll feature them in our July roundup. Sadly, our June roundup is almost complete, but there are lots of opportunities to get together virtually and in person in the coming month. You can find out more info on all of these events below in the link. We also want to highlight EthCC in Paris, where friends from across the Filecoin and IPFS ecosystems will gather. On July 18th, we'll be hosting Filecoin Unleashed, and you are all invited. You can register now on filecoinunleashed.io. Thanks so much for joining us today, and to all of our amazing community members for sharing their updates from across the ecosystem. The next roundup will take place on July 6th. If you'd like to share your wins and updates, then email events@protocol.ai. And for more info on everything featured in today's roundup, check out all of the links below. Thanks so much for joining us again, and happy building.